All right.
Let's go.
We're here. Finally, we made it. We survived.
It's BTP time. BTP time.
BTP time.
BTP time. BTP time. It's
Sorry,
the
Ray,
best
leave me alone. This is
time
BTP
of
time.
the week. It's BTP time.
Hmm?
It's time for us to talk about the greatest damn book series in the history of book series. And it's time for us, before we do that, to introduce ourselves, because we know you know us, but we just love introducing ourselves. It's one of our favorite things to do. Hi, I'm Josh. I'm the Sorv on Mahill. I call the storms. I lead the storms. I tell the storms whose anus needs a lightning bolt up it. Yeah.
When Zeus becomes a proctologist.
Open wide. No, wrong doctor. Wrong doctor.
That ain't true. Let me wash on my hill. Oh.
Wow. Okay, we're off to a good start.
Lightning bolts anywhere, thankfully. So.
We had a guest. They left after that joke. They were like, "Whoa, shit!"
Like proctology? No, I'm out. Imagine after all the stuff we've said in the past, as far as
that's the one. That's the one that gets.
You
never know. You never know these days.
Yeah, that's the one that makes Jordan Con meet us at the doors and be like, "Yeah, we're gonna have to ask you guys to go back."
Hey, thanks for coming over, guys. But no,
so that's fine. Josh and I will go have our dates at Breakers and the Cheesecake Factory and Lazy Dogs.
Lazy Dog for
candy maple bacon old fashions. I'm looking forward to. Speaking of looking forward to, if you find yourself having trouble staying awake and looking forward to what you're doing today or this evening, go on over to w.gg.com and get yourself some tubs of fantastic jitterless artificial flavor not having goodness for energy that you can mix into water. It is fantastic. If you use code BTP or use the link from the description and the show notes, you get 10% off of anything not already on sale over at w.gg. I know they did just release a new flavor today. I haven't been able to look and see what it is yet.
Oh, sour gummy bear.
Ooh, sounds good.
I saw it today.
Sounds good.
It looks good.
Every time they come up with a new flavor, I want it. Because the last ones I got the blueberry one that they released, and then the peach creamsicle one. And the creamsicle one, honestly, is still my favorite. Not peach, it's orange. Good. Remember the orange creamsicle like pops?
Yeah.
They're just
the peach one was good too. It was like Peachios.
Yeah. But the orange creamsicle one is like it's fantastic, incredible. But I'm drinking the blueberry one. And you can also just like you can get on w.gg, you can get yourself a shaker cup with double D's if you're into anime and a nerd like me. And then you can reference it every time you use the bottle on every episode you record of a podcast. So, it's a conversation starter, an icebreaker of sorts, maybe. Or maybe the opposite. Maybe it's like a way to avoid conversations. Like he's drinking from a cup with an anime waifu on it. I don't think we want to talk to him. But anyway, with all that said and done, Josh, like you said earlier, we're not alone.
We are blessed with a guest. I worked on that one. You ready for that? You guys might know him as the supremely talented gentleman behind the supremely awesome Encyclopedia Wheel of Time Encyclopedia. Encyclopedia of Wheel of Time of Encyclopedias. A super awesome website. If you haven't been there, you should go there now. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Gary Kephart, who is the website designer,
founder,
creator, and everything. Yeah, great Gary. Woo!
Wow, I don't know how I can live up to an introduction like that.
Well, I do want to say this. If you want me to just want me to pound another nail in that coffin. I was there when Lauren from Unraveling the Pattern said that he used your website a lot for
Wow.
a lot of his unravelings and things like that.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm just saying, you got a good thing going there. It's awesome.
Well, thank you. I mean, I'm proud of it. I've heard from several people, that they use it. So I'm glad it's put to good use.
Yeah, go ahead
Absolutely.
and just remind everybody who's listening, what that website is, where they can find your stuff, what it is you do. Give us your 5-minute introduction speech.
All righty then, I will do that. Back in the 90s, I had been reading lots of science fiction fantasy. I had just finished up David Eddings, a nice thick series of books. And I was, see?
The
And I was
Belgariad?
looking, yes, all of those.
I'm reading. I'm going to start the second book soon. Those are out of print.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Mine are worth something then, huh? Cool.
Probably.
I ain't selling them, sorry. I'm not selling them to you. But yeah, I was looking for the next big thing there. And so I go into the bookstore back when they had them and found, the Wheel of Time stuff. It's like, okay, I'll give it a whirl. And I started reading it. And I got through, I don't know, about 3, 4, or 5 of the books. And like everyone else, I was doing a reread before the next book because this was the time when the books were being written. So go back and read everything again. And we had some sites that we could go to. The internet was still really new. So it was like Usenet news groups that we were all talking about and exchanging ideas and doing all this, plot guesses and everything like that. And it got to one of the books where I decided it just came out. I'm going to try this without doing a reread. I can do this. So I started reading the book and I got into a few pages and they started talking about this character named Sulin. It's like, who the heck is Sulin? I couldn't remember that. So that forced me to go back and reread all the books again. But I said, there's got to be a better way than this. And I got the idea for the website about the structure of it from the Internet Movie Database. I don't know if you guys have been there.
Okay.
But in general, you can look up an actor, see what movies they're in, click on that movie, see the other actors and their movies, and you can keep snaking through the whole thing and just keep on discovering and exploring stuff. And so that's where the origin came from. I decided I wanted to have chapter summaries, and each of the chapters would have links to every character, every place, items, significant items, things like that. And that's how it all started.
I was sitting there thinking for a second. I was like, have I ever been to like the Internet Movie Database? And then it finally clicked in my brain, IMDb.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, because I was like, I don't know if I've ever been there. I'm like, I've been to IMDb. Wait. Oh, okay. Makes sense now. I never stopped to think what IMDb stood for, but that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
There you go. So I created this website, the basic parts of it, and I started working on an Eye of the World, and I got through about 20 chapters, and I said, I can't do this by myself. I'm going to need to ask for volunteers. So I did, and I had a couple people come in, but the main contributor who did a lot of the work, I'd say majority of the work, was this guy named Bob Klutz. And he just took off a rocket and just kept doing a lot of it. And he got all the way up to A Memory of Light, and he stopped there. And unfortunately, that's where the website has been since then. I haven't had the time to go through it, but I do plan on completing it for A Memory of Light.
Nice.
Yeah, I remember
nice.
when Aaron and I started this podcast back in 2018, right after the news kind of broke more publicly or more popularly on Twitter, the website formerly known as Twitter, I guess.
Yeah.
I will
about
always
the
call
show.
it Twitter.
Oh yeah. About the show coming out and everything. Encyclopedia WoT is pretty much what I used exclusively, other than like random articles I found just by searching, for at least several months, for at least 5 or 6 months. Because it was like super easy to navigate. and I know I have a hard time remembering. I can remember books 1, 2, 3, and 4 in their order. Wait, no, 1, 2, 3 easily in order, and I can remember what the last book is, like without even like looking at it. But what I would do every time was go to Encyclopedia WoT, so I could look at the listing of books with the Roman numerals and be like, okay, that's it. And I remember seeing the little road construction sign by Memory of Light, and thinking like, oh, I don't like it's going to be so hard to do our breakdown or review of Memory of Light because I've gotten so used to being able to lean on Encyclopedia WoT for chapter summaries and book summaries and like plot points and everything. And I was just like, well, maybe by the time we get there, because it's going to be months, it'll be done. And I'm still holding on to that hope.
Yeah, you know, and I apologize to everyone who's been waiting for that because it's long overdue. It's almost a joke that yes, I'm going to finish at some point, but I am. I just got it. I got so much other stuff going on. It's really tough. I still got to put in season 2 summaries as well because we're doing the TV show as well.
Yeah, it's like you're a person with stuff to do. It's just weird, man.
I know. It's odd. Life gets in the way.
You know, there are some people that are out here, super talented people. We love them. But there's like, you know, they put out the Wheel of Time season 3. I knew someone was going to do it. Gary, if you're not in on the joke, Andrew has yet to read A New Spring.
Oh,
so
okay.
Maybe the two of you can have a race. Whoever gets it first.
Which gets done first? I read New Spring, or Gary gets the Memory of Light part of Encyclopedia WoT.
well, time out there, man. I got the whole last battle, and it's just a book in itself that I got to do. So
that's true.
He's got the
it's completely unfair. It's completely unfair.
Wait, you don't know how little Andrew reads. He's transitioned from reading into anime, so you're good. You've got plenty of time.
Interesting note, I've laid out in on the site all the chapters. They're all just blank right now, and normally we split it up into each chapter has a tab for each point of view of the character that's being has the view, and usually that's like 3 or 4 different tabs for 3 or 4 different points of view. Sometimes like it gets up to 12, which is kind of big. I couldn't do that for the last battle. I had to switch formats from tabs going across to expanded sections going down, 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 down. And again, they're all blank right now, but it's amazing how much it switches points of view at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm scrolling it right now, and I'm just like, geez.
There's a lot happening. And especially when you start to consider that you've got how many, like 2,000 named characters or something ridiculous by the end of the book.
Easily.
I mean, it's crazy.
Like 27 something.
Just take a look at all the S characters.
Yeah. Is there an S characters entry?
There's 2,787 distinct named characters in the Wheel of Time.
Jeez.
And 2,740 of them have a name starting with S. It feels like it.
So what book had come out when you started building this website? Like, how far into the series were you? Do you remember?
It was like the 4th book or something like that. I got it posted on. We have a what's new page under there, under the site stuff, and it lists all the changes that we've done to the site. I'd have to go back and look at that, and see.
Love it.
Well, like I said,
let me grab the scroll bar and make it down there. Hold on.
Oh wow, yeah, you went way back. Oh, yeah. What's new is like from day one.
Yes, it is.
Wow, this is super cool.
Well,
so I also, like Andrew, I've used this website a number of times to go in and look for different information, different pieces and stuff. I like the what's new. You kind of glaze past it and you go, okay, that's just the updates on the page. But it's kind of cool to be able to scroll all the way down and go back to like day one. I like that.
I lost that the very beginning of that, the earliest notes for a while, but I had to look on the there was a www archive or something like that out there, and it happened to have a copy of it, so I put that contents back in there. Yeah, I was lucky to find it.
Yeah, I'll bet. Internet archives they're wonky, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So September 24th, 1998.
Mm-hmm.
So just a couple years.
It was
so
the
last year,
my little
at
brother
WoTCon,
was
I was
3
25.
months old.
Sorry,
Oh,
say that
wow.
again real quick. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. At LotCon, it was up for 25 years, basically.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
What's been probably the most, and I know you talked a little bit about sort of the challenges there. What's probably been like the most challenging bit? Is there like a scene or a book or a place that's been more challenging to get accurate or more time consuming or more tedious or something like that?
Not necessarily. I mean, the one thing you have to remember, in general, the writing of the chapter page isn't that tough. Okay. But what you have to do then for every character, you have to go to their page, every single character in that chapter, and update their page as well. The same thing, everything else, all those other things. And that's what takes most of the time.
So, I mean, we all have a pretty cool status as well that you kind of, when I say share, there's 4 other fan websites that share the same kind of award, if you will, of being recognized by Robert Jordan and Tor Books as one of the 5 leading fan sites. And the link for your website is actually in the dust jackets for the Tor published books, isn't it?
Yeah, for the original publishings of it, the last 3 books on the inside cover, you can't believe how stoked I was when I opened that and go, there it is, we're listed.
That's so cool.
Incredible. Yeah.
I can imagine. That is dope.
I wasn't told ahead of time. Someone else told me. It's like, no, wait, are you kidding me?
No way.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Can you just imagine like going to the store? Oh, look, the new book is out. Let me just check it out. Here. Oh, about the author. My website.
That was it. Yes.
That's so cool.
It is. And, I stepped away from this and let Bob do a lot of the work. And so I didn't, we get email sometimes about people saying how great it is, which is cool. And I don't know if that is the true scope of how many people like it or anything like that. But, we heard from it when early it's in the creation. And once we got back to the show coming on, that's when I started going into WoTCon. And then I hear about more and more people have actually used it. It's like, wow, okay, people are actually using it. It used to be big. I don't know how many people still know about it. That's the thing. I'm not sure because there's other sites out there that do similar things, and maybe those are more popular. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
But anyways, very happy to have that on the back cover there.
Oh yeah, like I would be stoked for sure.
I'm just waiting for when the Black Tower is introduced in the TV series. Special thanks to the Black Tower podcast, showing us what true Ashaman are, that kind of thing.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
I hope they don't all act like us. Oh,
I mean,
it would be cool, but also, it can be a little worrisome.
All of a sudden,
there's going to be like
a lot more.
One of them like hanging out in the back that just keeps throwing cans.
That'll be when I finish this lovely little. So tonight, you guys may have noticed I'm not doing my regular Sailor Jerry. I found this little lager that is quite delightful, and I thought I'd give these a shot tonight. So
I know why you picked one that says Rogue. And if you're on the notification list for Quest and Whiskey, you know why he said Rogue too. That's about to go
Oh,
on
that's
sale
right.
this month. Pre-orders
You know,
for Quest and Whiskey's Rogue line is 26, 29? No, 26.
do you, Gary? Have you been following that at all? Or you?
I am not familiar with that. Sorry.
So, no, it's okay. So, do you know who Matthew Lillard is, right? The actor. He was
Not
in
offhand.
Hackers. He's Shaggy from Scooby Doo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that rings a bell.
He is. I don't know if he's advertising for, or if it's his line.
He's
But there's a
the company.
whiskey company called Quest End,
Hmm.
and they're doing different bottles. They're doing different runs of the different D&D characters. So they've already released
Classic.
the Paladin blend.
Cool.
And
Which is
we just got the and we just got the notification that the Rogue blend is coming soon.
Excellent.
So we're very excited for that.
Oh yeah, your Josh, your 2 Paladin bottles should be shipping out here soon.
They should be, yeah.
Where I can hold them for ransom to get them to you.
I was about to say where I owe you $300.
I mean,
The race is on who gets it first.
That's right. That's right.
well, because I got 2 from the initial release, and then very quickly they were like sold out and they didn't have any more. So they released another run, and I think they've shown that they're going to do at least one more run of the Paladin. I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's super popular. So I bought 2 bottles from the original one, and one is still sealed in its package and should not be opened. I don't have any plans on opening for anywhere in the foreseeable future. The other one has that much left in the bottom. It is delicious. So,
Well, that's why we're getting the 2 bottles, right? One to drink and one to collect.
yeah. One
So,
bottle to collect and one bottle with actual fluid to hold on
Yeah,
to.
that's right. That's right.
So,
We're getting classy at the Black Tower, guys.
yeah.
We're going to have a collection. You know, you go to those places and they've got a collection of empty liquor bottles. Not us. Our liquor bottles will be empty, but we will also have liquor bottles that have stuff in them. We're like transitioning up to classy.
Turns out that
Just so you know.
we don't actually drink from bottles unless they're brand new. We're a little sheepish around alcoholic beverages at the tower for reasons that we won't talk about.
Gary, how did you get introduced to the Wheel of Time? Like, how did your Wheel of Time journey begin? Which I use that term for lack of another term because I know that there are no beginnings or endings.
There are none. I wish it was more exciting than this, but like I said, I was looking for a new series read. I went into a bookstore, Barnes and Noble, I guess, something like that, and I happened to see it. It's a nice thick book. I probably looked through the front cover, back cover, and some notes and introductions, and said, "Okay, we're going to give this a try." I didn't want any more of those little tiny short stories. I wanted some nice long series again, big world building and the whole bit.
That's right. And with your experience in the reading, were you instantly hooked? Did it take you a couple chapters, couple books? Like, what was your sort of, getting into that? How easily did you get into that?
I think I got in pretty easily. It's been a little while since I've done it, so it's hard to remember. But as far as I can remember, once I got in, I just started and went one right after the other and trying to catch up to the latest stuff that's still being written.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Extremely nice. And my next question's already been kind of answered, but we'll go ahead and throw out a caveat here. Aside from your website appearing in the dust jacket of the books, which is just awesome, what other sort of memorable moments do you have just connected with this crazy book series and this crazy website that you decided to do?
Oh, I do have some good ones, so I'm glad you asked.
Yes.
Number one, Jordan did a lot of book signings, so I was able to get to a few of them when he came out. I'm on the West Coast, and I got a few of my books signed. So yay. There was one point when only it was connected with Comic-Con in San Diego, and I have never been to that. I really want to sometime, but I haven't been able to do that. And it was only like a dozen of us were invited to have dinner with Robert Jordan and Harriet and a few others. Yeah. So yes, I got to have dinner with those two and a bunch of the other people. And it was at that one, it was the first and only time I actually met Bob Klutz, who had been helping me with Encyclopedia. We had only been talking over email during this whole time.
That's awesome.
So we got to say hi. So there's those two things. I got two more. I'm going to have to go to my bookshelf to get them. So hold on.
Yeah. Go for it.
Wow,
while you're doing that, I was just going to say, hey, Andrew, remember that time that we had been recording episodes together for almost a full year before we met in real life?
Oh, yeah. It was actually a nice surprise. So.
Yes, it was.
Oh.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
You do that a lot.
I mean, I try to. It's fun.
Why you always sneaking up in my house and stuff?
Oh, that was a different time.
Yeah, but I'm just saying you be sneaking up on me a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun, man. You should try sneaking up on yourself sometimes.
I'll try that.
Yeah.
All right.
I can't find one of my books, but okay, here's one. Is this right here? There we go.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That's
that
a galleon.
the...
That's pre-release stuff there. So
Dang.
yeah, everyone who went to the dinner got one of these, which, damn, this is cool. And
damn, that's so cool.
It is. It's very cool. And the last one, which is also excellently cool, is when Sanderson came out to San Diego to sign, the last book. I introduced myself to who I was, and he wrote in my book, "This work would not have been possible without your work."
Oh wow!
Did you did you die right there? Are we talking to your ghost?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, what more do you want to ask for? He said that he did use that to keep track of things while he was writing the book.
Damn.
So yeah.
Do you know,
so knowing that you got like that kind of like praise and acknowledgement from Robert Jordan and the rest of his team, and ultimately up to Brandon, how do you feel knowing, like, at least I think it's a reasonable assumption that the writer's room is at least in part referencing Encyclopedia WoT.org?
Oh, you mean for the show?
Yeah.
I hadn't considered that, actually. Yeah, that might be very possible. They've got I forgot her name. What's her name?
Sarah Nakamura.
Sarah. Yeah, they got Sarah. She may have all that stuff memorized and not even need my website. I have a lot of faith in her.
Yeah, that's like saying, hey, people have their scriptures memorized. They don't need to reference them. You still go back for the reference, man.
I guess. And it would be really cool to hear that they did use it. I've not heard anything at all. That's like a little black box to me, just like it is to everyone else. But it would be cool if someone did sneak that out of there and say, yeah, your site's being used. But
that would be cool.
I would be shocked if they weren't, because I know that during different little interviews and stuff where they've like interviewed with like Dusty Will or any of the other shows and content creators, they referenced a couple times that a lot of people that work on the set, that are part of the cast, that are part of the production team, pay a lot of attention to the online portion of the fandom, especially like a lot of the different content creator platforms and channels and stuff. And and everything to kind of like look in and see if they can get more information or a different perspective on a character or a situation, stuff like that. So if they're going through and listening to like podcasts and watching YouTube videos and live streams and stuff like that, even if it's on occasion, I think there's no way that they're not using Encyclopedia WoT.
Wow,
At least
that's
in
pretty
part.
cool. No, I hadn't thought before. That would be really, really cool.
Yeah. So
I love
your yacht
one more
emblem should be
magical
in the mail.
moment.
one more magical one. Give us all the magic. We love it.
This I learned about Maria, Jordan's assistant. She used the site extensively to help keep Jordan straight on stuff. And in fact, when she had to travel, she had someone make a copy of the website and put it on a CD, and she took that with her in case the internet was down or not available or something like that.
Oh,
Holy cow.
Right? I couldn't believe it.
Go ahead.
Wow.
That is incredible.
I was stunned again when I heard that. So that's amazing.
Kids, literally
for all those of
physically
you who
carried
don't
your
know,
site with her.
Yeah.
The internet was not always the super reliable, super common thing that you have today. And therefore,
some people are going,
you
what
did
the hell
things
is a
like
CD?
Load a website onto a CD or print out 50 pages and carry a book of papers with you. Like, there's no such thing. It's a thing. Okay.
Web browsers didn't always have the make available offline option.
Yeah.
They also
did.
They also have they used to have really terrible music that you could not turn off. You'd be at the website and the same 10 seconds would just run, cycle
over
again
and over.
Again and again. And it was like 8-bit MIDI. Yes. That's exactly what we're talking about there.
Nice.
No, that's the thing on your desktop when you press a button and it pops out and you can put your cup on it.
Yeah.
That's the cup holder there for it.
That's your built-in cup holder.
Yes.
That's what it is. I was going to say this about the site because, I know I've said I've used the site before. And I'd be willing to bet there's a lot of people who have, and that's great. Your site is kind of what I wanted to do after I'd read the entire series, right? Because for years, I had this, like, I'm going to read. As soon as I get through the whole series, I just want to appreciate the whole series. Just go through, just sit along for the ride. And then when I go through it again, that's what I'm going to pay attention. I want to make notes. And I want to start writing things. Who the hell is that guy? And why is he over here now? And where's, I wanted to do a lot of that kind of stuff. And I just wanted to, my idea wasn't necessarily a website. My idea was more of a spreadsheet. But when I found your website, I was like, son of a bitch, you did it. You just saved me a whole lot of work.
Now, interesting kind of side note to all this is that when I heard the show was coming out, I decided at that time I really had to revamp the site. And there's a link on the new site to the old site, and you can do a comparison of that. But I started going through the pages, and what I realized is that the site was originally meant to be read by everyone else who's reading along at the time. It wasn't meant for a new reader per se. So, right. When Knife of Dreams came out, it would be updated to that, and there's no really hiding anything or anything like that. And anything the new reader might not want to know, it's be out in the open. And so as part of redoing for version 2, I had to make the site more ready for someone who had never read it before. I had to hide a lot of information and spoilers and things like that, and make it more generic than just for people who were reading along with the rest of us as they were being written.
That's actually good to know, though.
I'm gonna show this actually real quick, with your permission to show your site.
Sure.
But the old version, because this is what I, of course, first found it as and what it looked like. And there's the under construction thing.
Yeah,
every week I would check and wonder, like, is it gone yet? Is it gone yet? Is it there yet? Like, just excited, and it was almost like like expecting the release of like a new show or something.
Wow.
But I loved it because it made it so easy. Like, oh, what is the 8th book? Oh, right there, it's Path of Daggers because it's literally numbered. And this was probably one of my favorite things, the plot threads.
Yes.
This, I thought when I saw it, was one of the most ingenious kind of things to put on a website where you can just follow the threads of the plot and who's in it,
Threads.
where they are, who's involved with this, and it just looks cool.
That was certainly not my idea. I don't know if it was Bob's, but we got someone else who actually did these, and I lost contact with that person, and we need them again to do this thing, plot threads for a Memory of Light as well. It could be a very much
All right.
while. If you look at this for some of the other books, it gets a lot more complicated.
Oh yeah, let's hop over to the new one.
Hold on, go back, Andrew.
Don't tell me what to do. Yes, sir.
I love the bottom there. Sign the guest book. That was a thing. That was a thing back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Yes, it was.
You guys could sign the guest book and be like, "Look, I came to your website. Thank you."
Yep.
I definitely remember using the prophecies tab a lot.
Yeah.
So when we could talk about those, but I don't remember what day it changed because I wasn't like checking every day, but I do remember coming back to Encyclopedia WoT after it'd probably been a week or two or something like that when you changed to the new look, and I was just kind of like blown away. I was like, "Oh, look, it's so snazzy." But yeah, so
it was.
Oh wait, why did I go to Memory of Light? I know it's not done for Memory of Light.
Oh.
I was like, oh, complicated plot threads. Where would that be? Memory of Light. Yeah, there we go.
Damn.
Yeah.
So this is the plot threads for Tower of Midnight.
And not to give away spoilers so much, but when it was easier to travel from place to place on an individual level, it got really complicated to keep track of everyone.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Oh yeah.
Damn, that's so cool. Like, oh gosh. Do you know what that reminds me of too? Is like when you're doing like video editing or sound editing, and you got all the different tracks. Each track is doing a different thing, serving a different function. Like in those plot threads, that's what that looks like to me. Is I've got my Egwene plot, I've got my Rand plot, I've got my parent. Like, oh gosh, it's just so cool.
I added a couple of new features along with redoing the whole site. If you look in each of the chapters, a lot of them at the bottom will have a follow so-and-so, follow this character, follow that character. And it will jump ahead to the next chapter that has that character's point of view.
Oh, you mean like more Egwene POV like this
one?
one?
No, that is different. That shows, if you want to see all of her point of views, you would click that.
And that's all of her. Yeah, that's awesome. That's so great.
I mean, so I really like how let's see, let's find one that's got multiple like POVs in it. So like the way that this is now done. I think with the old side, it would like just kind of list them in different sections, kind of right there under one thing, but now this is separate tabs for the POVs.
And it would make the page really long. And the idea on websites apparently is to make sure if the user can be kept on a single page so they can see it all, then do that. Now go to the bottom of this page here and you'll see what I was talking about. See the follow Rand, Matt, and Egwene?
Oh yeah.
What? Let's see here. Did that not? Oh, maybe found a bug there. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yep, that one's wrong. I got to fix that.
There you go. You got to put that on the to-do page.
There you go.
Yeah.
Powers of Happen, chapter 25. But we can go back.
And also what I did, it's pretty hard to remember for the all the Aes Sedai, what Aja they're in. And so a lot of these chapters, I haven't finished this, but a lot of the chapters will have, oh, this is a good, you notice these colored rectangles next to the names, like
Yeah.
Baron and Leandrin?
Yeah.
That's the color of their Aja.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that is such a good feature.
That's awesome. I love that you're engaging not just like sort of the left side brain here, but you're also engaging the right side brain with the whole, I'm giving you a visual. Yeah, that's great. Oh, here we go.
There we go. This is what Gary was talking about. So, A Great Hunt, Chapter 8, under Egwene's POV. You can follow Egwene, Nynaeve, Min, and Elaine, and click it. It takes you to Chapter 12. Their kind of next POV.
Yep.
And here we get even more examples of the Aja markers. Bro, that is awesome. You know how much time that saves just being able to look at a colored rectangle and being like, okay, they're yellow Aja or whatever.
You ain't kidding. It was a problem with me. And of course, this is how this whole thing started. I was having problems remembering this stuff. So that's why I made it mostly for me. And then, well, let's see if anyone else wants to use it as well. And same with these colors here. I really need that. And I'm sure other people need it as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I can never remember.
There's
too much to remember.
Yeah. Well, and I know for myself, when it came, so I don't visualize things well, right? So when Robert Jordan says, "Oh, she wore a green dress that was slashed with cream that was divided for writing," I'm just like, okay, cool, horse dress. Like, I don't know, like I don't visualize things from a text written description like that. So that's what I'm saying is like to have that visual component right there on the website, like that's super, super cool.
When you say slashed with cream, I think that like they were making coffee and their hands slipped and they spilt all over their stuff. Or maybe there was like an accident on the farm, like they were making cream from milk and it exploded or something. Like
exploded because as cream does, as it does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cream explodes all the time.
You gotta watch out for that explosive cream, man. Wear safety goggles.
It'll get you. It'll get you.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a piece of the story trying to stay sensitive to the spoiler action here? Is there a part of the story that clicked into place, or maybe that you understood better after making an update in your website, like a scene that just kind of didn't make sense to you really well, and then you went through and connected the dots with your website as you were kind of putting it together, and you went, oh, and it kind of had a revelation moment for you?
I wouldn't doubt something like that had happened to me. I don't remember anything offhand, but it sounds like something that, would occur to me. It's like, oh, let's go back and see all this other stuff.
Yeah. Well, because I know, like,
go ahead.
Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say what that did remind me of is sort of a tangent, is when redoing the second version of this thing, there were times I'd get to a point of summarizing this book and a special chapter came up and I said, hold on, I have to go back to the books and actually read this chapter, because this part of the chapter, because it was really good. I need to read the full text instead.
Yeah, I'll bet.
I can imagine
I know for me,
Demise Wells had to be one of those.
I mean, objection leading the witness.
Yeah, we got to be careful. The interesting thing is what on that one is what Robert Jordan was trying to portray. So I don't think we can go really into that without being a spoiler, but there's a certain sense that he was trying to portray in that scene.
Oh
yeah. Well, and then you've got Michael Livingston, who's done different kind of reviews on the battles, where he's covered different battles throughout the Wheel of Time and sort of the historic battles that they were inspired by in the origins of the Wheel of Time. Does any of that play a role in your, or are you going straight up to just the books and calling it a day?
Oh, that is a good question. Right now, it's just the books and just the show.
Okay.
There's, in fact, the Big White Book. I have actually never read that. I have it, but I thought it was just
Nice.
I thought it was just a repeat of what was in the book, just kind of reformatted. But people would tell me, no, it's actually got new content. So maybe
Yeah.
I got to go back and consider that as well.
Yeah, same for well, for the companion too, but that's like
Yep.
the Uber conglomeration of like all the glossaries and fixing some things that I felt should have been fixed. Brandon got some victories in that book that we can't go
Yeah,
into
he did.
because the one I'm thinking of is Memory of Light.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I hear that New Spring has a lot of new content as well, Andrew.
Oh yeah, it does. For me, I mean, no, it doesn't. It's a conspiracy. It doesn't actually exist. Everybody's being fooled. It's not real.
I will say this: Tom from Dragon Mount does not like the companion because his character dies in the companion. So he says the same. He says the companion doesn't exist. But
everybody has their books that just they're like, no, it's not real.
No, we don't talk about that one.
It's a figment.
It's like Highlander 2. We don't talk about Highlander 2. It never happened. It didn't exist.
Highlander 2, The Sickening.
Yes, indeed. Although there was one redeeming quality of Highlander 2, and that's that all the taxi cabs were Ford Falcons, like early 60s model Ford Falcons. And that's my project car that I currently have rotting in my front yard because, that's what you do with project cars.
Hasn't there been some rumor about the whole Highlander thing coming back in a series or something like that?
Henry Cavill is going to be the Highlander. Yes, that is
Excellent.
a reboot that's coming. And before someone gets in the comments and says, "Oh, that's a Wheel of Time," Henry Cavill is a Wheel of Time fan. There's your tie-in, and we're gonna have sword forms in Highlander. Otherwise, we riot. I'm gonna post that on every single one of Henry Cavill's videos now. Henry Cavill, what sword form will you use to dispatch the Kurgan? We don't know yet.
Show us actor breaks foot so he can build his own computer.
Yes.
Yes. Did Bob do a lot of the TV show stuff as well, or were you able to do that, or was it a mix?
That's been me. Bob kind of went off on his own after he finished up to a Memory of Light, and I think maybe, I don't know because I haven't really talked to him. Maybe he got burnt out, but no.
For those of you who don't know, Two Geeks One Mike is a TV show watcher, not a book reader.
So this is your section of Encyclopedia WoT there, Two Geeks.
Yes.
Yep.
Where you can go by episode. So everybody, there's definitely spoilers for the TV show. It's been out long enough. If you're listening to us, we're assuming that either you don't want to watch it or you've already watched it. So
yes,
no mercy. But I love how you've got which episode it is from, in the season, the air dates, the title of the episode, and then just how they're broken down by scene. Because I don't think about things in terms of like different scenes, but looking at this and just like, oh, I wouldn't have predicted there were 31 individual scenes broken down.
I was lucky in that for season 1, they cut them into numbered sections, and they weren't necessarily the ones that I expected them to be, but I went with it because it's Amazon, it's their thing. So, okay, you say it's a scene 4, then it's scene 4. They did not give titles to each of those scenes. And so all of those titles are ones that I made up on my own. I tried to make some of them a little bit funny.
Bath time. Yes.
Bath time. Bath time, parentheses, butt rock.
Alone time followed by bath time. Isn't that
boy.
the inevitability of all
That, I was about to say, I think that's the correct order.
Yeah. But
yeah, see,
these are great. Unlucky throw.
Unlucky throw.
So, and then I like for the possible spoilers here, is it just spoilers for the TV show?
It's a combination of those, mostly for the TV show, but I may put some in for the books as well. And maybe did some tie-in saying, this is a little bit off, but this relates to how it is in the books, something like that. But yeah, you do have to go down there. Each of these individual scenes should be pretty spoiler-free.
Oh, yeah. I was just asking because I didn't want to expand this if it might spoil something for somebody from the books.
Well, the book, it's only going to cover book 1, right?
I mean, yeah, but you never know because, we have all these things that after reading all the books, you're like, oh, there's a thing that happens in this book that gets foreshadowed in book 1. My personal favorite kind of foreshadowing thing.
I might have some of that stuff in here. A side note on this, I did end up having to create a new set of pages for each one of the TV characters. They're different enough where I can reference the TV characters to the book characters if such a correlation exists. But in general, I had to create a new page for each one of the characters. And I didn't have to do that with geography, although I may have to depending on how far they get. There's a lot less geography matters in the show than there are in the book.
Right.
Like this. I don't know why I'd forgotten about the pronunciation guy. Like this was like religiously used by me when I first started doing like the podcasting and looking at stuff. Because anytime I was like, yeah, I'm not sure, or no, that's not the way it's said, I took this as gospel truth.
Well, and the voices that you hear is either going to be me or Bob Klutz.
I love it. So, and I do love the character pages for the TV show too. Because I agree. Yeah, the characters in the TV show are different enough to absolutely warrant their own kind of character entries, so that you can keep it kind of separated from the book stuff. So that way, like if you're a really big fan of the TV show and you think that the TV show is how the book should have always been, you can go and look through this and you can read like from the TV show perspective of the characters, and that's absolutely fine. And if you're the other way around and you're book cloak, as long as you should learn how to be tolerant and a nicer person, you still have just the regular book character pages that you can use. So it's almost like you have free will of choice of what medium you want to entertain and enjoy, and nobody's forcing you to like anything.
And today, now more than ever, I would say that we are spoiled for choice. I mean, Gary, like you were saying, back in the day, it was just a couple of sites. I think it was you and Dragon Mount and Theoryland and like you guys are all right there.
Yeah. And it's weird when you look back on it and see the other sites that were there and saying, well, this is it. So yes,
the OG.
Having all the things like your show available to us back then was unfathomable.
Yes.
Probably for the better, honestly, that Black Tower podcast wasn't available.
Oh, you guys are part of it, man. You guys are part of it.
We had to wait for
Well,
y'all to do all this research and put the data so we can like come
yeah,
in
that's right.
and do the easy thing where we're just like,
We had
I
to
don't
wait for
remember.
it.
Let's look at Encyclopedia
You know,
WoT and see.
it's layers. It builds up, man. You're just the next layer on the
That's
whole
right.
thing.
That's right. That's right. One final question for you,
Sure.
my good sir. Are you going to JordanCon and WoTCon this year?
JordanCon, it's a little more difficult for me because it's my wife's birthday month, so I'm usually busy on the weekends there. WoTCon, I'm going to
Good
definitely try to
answer.
do that again. Yeah,
Sweet.
but yes, I plan on going to WoTCon.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We are very, very grateful, very, very honored to have you. One more time, just Carrie's excited to see you at WoTCon.
Yeah.
Hey,
And so is
good to
Wolf
see you
Brother.
there too, Carrie.
One last time, just tell the people your website and what they can expect to find when they get there. I know we've just spent a lot of time talking about it. And I know we put it in the description below. So when you go to reference your Wheel of Time things, do not miss out on the Encyclopedia of Wheel of Time. Just one last time, tell them who you are and where you are. Who you are and where you are.
Okay, my name is Gary Kephart. I'm the creator of the Encyclopedia Wheel of Time. I always try to mention Bob Klutz in this. He was a major contributor to the content there. The whole point of the site is to help you remember things that there's so many details there that you're going to forget. Everyone does, including me. It helps you remember all that stuff. We start with chapter summaries. You can go in there and just keep clicking on links until to your heart's content and find a ton of information. We've got like 4,000 pages on the site, and we're going to keep adding to it. I'm going to finish up A Memory of Light, honest, and I'll keep up with the Amazon show as well.
Oh man, I cannot be more thankful that sites like this exist, especially this site, because again, this is the first site I use to help me keep track of what happened where and look it up and try to figure it out. And if we were doing like numerical stuff about a book, how many POVs did Rand have in this book, and it was so easy to count them on Encyclopedia WoT. Just thank you and thank Bob. And I know in the About You said you've had literally hundreds of people recommend changes, help you like find things that maybe like we're missing or not entirely right, or that kind of stuff. When you're doing a project this massive, is just it's inevitably going to happen.
And we welcome that as well. Anytime ideas for new stuff, corrections, please contact us. And thank you for using the site. It's always really good to hear from people who use it and like it. Thank you.
Oh, I don't like it. I love it.
Okay. Wow.
I love this site.
Awesome.
Well, thank you.
Thank you again, Mr. Kephart. We super appreciate having you. We are so grateful for you and the work that you're doing over there. Thank you to all of our listeners out there. Thank you for tuning in for this week's Dose of Taint. We appreciate you, and we hope that wherever you are, you leave here just a little bit more insane than you were when you first got here. And you all know me. I have been Josh.
Yep, that's Josh. Oh, I just saw like this like part of my hand, and I was like, I don't know what he's doing.
I was pointing, but I was like going for your ear, and I didn't put.
I thought you were like counting off screen, like pause for dramatic effect. 1, 2, 3. And I have been Andrew. Thank you all so much. If you can make it to JordanCon, please do. JordanCon is a fantastically fun convention to go to. We'll be there. Come and say hi. And I kind of have to definitely say, please, if you can go to WoTCon, be there. It's in July. That's my birthday month. And actually, this will be right before my birthday this year. And you can come in person and find Gary and Carrie running around, and you could tell Gary thank you to his face for making it so easy for us to keep track of what happens in the book.
Right here.
You can have all kinds of fun. It's a fantastic convention, and I'm glad that you go and that you've enjoyed it. That's always good to hear. And I look forward to seeing you again this year.
I look forward to seeing you guys. I look forward to being at WoTCon. It's a great convention.
Excellent. All right.
Dang right. But that's going to do it for this episode of the Black Tower podcast. Again, any kind of links or discounts or anything that we have available are down in the show notes. So go and check them out in the description. There's stuff for w.gg. There's a link that you can click to go to Encyclopedia WoT if you don't want to type it. That's fine. We're all about ease of access here as much as possible.
It's true.
But for those of us here at the Black Tower podcast, thank you again for tuning in. We love you, and we will see you next week for the next exciting installment of the Black Tower podcast.